All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Well, good afternoon, good morning, or perhaps good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. And welcome to our webinar today. It's a collaborative effort between us here at Sift and our friends over at Microsoft to go over the Teams integration with Sift. So first, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Tim Kamen. I am the Client Success Manager here with Sift. Some things about me here. I'm huge into fitness. You wouldn't have believed it 10 years ago. I've lost quite a bit of weight over the last few years, and just love everything about staying active. Peloton, playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends, as you can see, all stuff that in my Sift profile that you would be able to see if you were within our organization or within a meeting with Teams. And with us today, we have Samantha Bowman, who is with Microsoft, and Ryan Bickham, who is our VP of Product Engineering here with Sift. And I'll go ahead and let Samantha introduce herself and then Ryan to follow suit.
Thanks, Tim. Hey, everyone. As Tim said, Samantha Bowman. I'm the director at Microsoft for Startups on the Pegasus program. And I'm excited to get to be here with Sift today. And we'll talk a little bit more about what our program is and our partnership. But some things about me, when I'm not staring at a computer screen, I have to be outside. So you can see from my Sift profile, I love backpacking. I recently learned or was certified as a sailor. So if you want to brave the waters with me, you can do that. And I don't have any kids, but I am one of those crazy dog owners, and I love my golden retriever. So all fun things you can learn about me in my Sift profile. But I will go ahead and turn it over to Ryan to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan. I am the VP of Product here at Sift, co-founder of the company. I sort of came up as an engineer and have been working on Sift for quite a long time now. And outside of work, really into games, playing poker, watching some movies, and then also just been getting into running over the last few years. That's something I've also been super into. So really excited today to share a little bit more about how we work with teams to make meetings more effective. I'll pass it back to Tim.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you. So just to go over a couple housekeeping items today. If you have any questions, please use the chat feature to voice your questions through the Q&A. Our moderators who are assisting us today will go ahead and review those, and we'll go ahead and answer them as they come in or towards the end of the presentation during the Q&A section. We are going to have some poll questions throughout that will give you some times to answer, just to kind of gauge some information on how you use Teams and kind of how your work environment is. And then also you will receive a recording of this event via email within 36 hours or so of completion, so that if you ever want to replay it or watch it or pass it along to your colleagues, you're more than welcome to do so. So for our agenda, we're going to go over then versus now, how the workplace has changed, shortcomings of virtual meetings, some tips for better virtual meetings, how our Microsoft partnership within Sift works, and then we're going to give you a demo of the Teams application with Sift. And then at the end, as stated, we'll follow up with some Q&A. So our very first poll question is, do you work remotely, or at least sometimes? Maybe you're hybrid. So go ahead and give you a few minutes to go ahead and answer that. I know me personally, I'm a bit of a hybrid employee. I work remotely most of the time, but I do occasionally go into the office, which is downtown Detroit here in Michigan. And today is actually take your husband to work. I'm at my wife's office because she recently had surgery and she's not cleared to drive. So I'm playing chauffeur and webinar host today. So it's been fun. Gotta love the ability to be able to kind of pick up and go if need be, with being able to work remote and hybrid. So let's see.
I'm seeing, Tim, there's about 47% that says they're fully remote, and another 47% that's kind of a hybrid situation. And then,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming in clutch there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why they're not showing for me, but we will go ahead and move forward. So thank you very much for the assist there, Samantha.
Yeah.
So as we said, the workplace has definitely changed, especially since, the start of 2020 with COVID. A lot of people have transitioned to either working fully remote or working hybrid. Most teams are distributed, whether they're international, remote, hybrid, because not everyone's in the same place anymore. And because of that, virtual meetings have become absolutely necessary. So we've seen a big increase, about three times the amount of Teams meetings and calls per week since February of 2020, and averaging about 57% of the amount of work that is of the workday is spent communicating via emails, meetings, and chats. So almost well over half the day is done conversing with colleagues and clients. So Teams has definitely stepped in and helped alleviate that stress. So virtual meeting advantages. There's some great advantages to being in virtual meetings. You can join from anywhere. As stated, I'm in my wife's office in Madison Heights, Michigan. We've got folks in Detroit. We've got Samantha who's in California right now, and then all of you wherever you're at around the country or even the world. So the possibilities are endless there. You can boost your connection for remote teams. They're more accessible and inclusive because everyone has the ability to join and they don't have to meet up in a single place to do so. And it allows you to have the ability to work asynchronously. Now, there are also some shortcomings to virtual meetings. One of the main ones that we found is called video meeting fatigue. And essentially what that is mental and physical exhaustion caused by the intensive and or inappropriate use of video conferencing tools, frequently accompanied by related symptoms such as tiredness, worry, anxiety, burnout, discomfort, and stress, as well as other bodily symptoms such as headaches. Some other potential shortcomings from virtual meetings is sometimes they, cannot be as productive as you'd like. They can be distracted. People might be multitasking and not paying attention. You might not know everyone in the meeting, so you don't speak up or ask questions. And there's also location bias because of certain hybrid meetings where, some people could be in an office all in one room where other people are remote. And as stated, one of the things we're seeing is distracted workers. 67% of the people are, have said they've been distracted at one point or another during a virtual meeting, whether it's, someone coming to your door, dog barking, a child coming and asking for something. There's a whole slew of things that could potentially distract us throughout the day. And also 55% of the people have admitted that they will check emails and try to multitask during virtual meetings. Not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that as well. If I can pay attention and knock out some emails at the same time to kind of get my day moving and being a little more productive, I will. But I do have to, sometimes focus in completely on the meeting and not be distracted. But there are importances that you can take into having an effective virtual meeting. It allows you to build connections with remote workers. Again, everyone could be spread out across the country and the world. So having the ability to connect with people remotely is great. It increases connections, reduces loneliness and disengagement, and it can help reduce burnout. I know a lot of people when the pandemic hit and they had to work remotely, that was a big adjustment for them. I'm very much a people person. I love having face-to-face conversations with people. So kind of learning to adjust and figure out how to still be able to do that while in the comfort of my own home was a little bit challenging at first. So and as it says here in the statistics, 65% of those people have been in a similar situation where, they felt less connected to their coworkers during the pandemic. So we have another poll question for you. Do you find it difficult to break the ice in a virtual meeting with people from other departments that you may not be familiar with? So we'll give you some time to answer that question, and I may need to call on Samantha again to read the results if I can't get them to pop up on my end.
Here, I can be your assist.
All right. You're my Goose, I'll be your Maverick. Or let's flip that around. Goose didn't really have a good turnout at the end of that movie, so.
Yeah. Looks like we have 15 responses in, and there's 40%. Oh, here we go. It's changing real life. 41% say yes, they find it difficult. 11 say no, and 47% say sometimes. I want to know the 11% that are clearly conversational gurus, because I definitely find it hard.
I would say I lump myself within that category. I mean, you could put me in front of anybody, and I don't really have a problem striking up a conversation and finding something to talk about. So,
okay. Well,
I guess
sense.
that's the perk of being the youngest of 5.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've always had to find a voice when there's 5 other people in your family.
Yeah. All right, so we will go on to tips for better virtual meetings. They allow you to express appreciation. You can find ways to include everyone regardless of their location. You can make it fun. I mean, we've seen so many advancements over the years, just recently with things such as virtual backgrounds. You can make yourself look like a strawberry or a dragon, or put yourself on a beach. I myself, for those who know me and work with me on a daily basis, I'm huge into Christmas. That's my biggest time of the year. In fact, I still have a small Christmas tree up in my bedroom that we have on every night while we're just relaxing and reading or watching TV. And one of the things I did was I took a picture of what's behind me, what you would see from my camera if I wasn't sitting there, and then use that as my virtual background. But every single day before a meeting, I would go in and Photoshop in a different Christmas knickknack, whether it was a tree, a picture of Clark Griswold, the Grinch, holiday sweaters, all those different things. And just by the time I'm the guy also. So October, like the end of October, when it starts on Hallmark, that's when I start. So I'm one of those people. I'm sorry, not sorry, but yeah. So by the time Christmas actually rolled around, it was just a plastering of just knickknacks and randomness in the background, on that virtual background. So that was really fun to do there. And it also allows you to find ways to connect as individuals. And that's something we're going to talk about a little bit more when we go through and do the demo of Sift within Microsoft Teams. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Samantha. She's going to talk more about the Microsoft Pegasus program and our partnership with Microsoft. And then we will go into a demo with Ryan.
Perfect. So as I mentioned earlier, I lead the Pegasus program for Microsoft for Startups. And so the Pegasus program is our invite-only program that actually aims to help enterprises solve their business challenges through startup innovation. The program, again, it's invite-only, and we only work with high-growth B2B startups that have achieved product market fit and are really ready to scale. In the program, we take a very customer-centric approach where we aim to deeply understand the business challenges of our customers are facing, such as workforce collaboration in a hybrid or remote first world. And then based on those challenges, we actively seek out and engage startups that have innovative solutions to address them. So that's where we found Sift, right? And then we come along as Microsoft to collaborate with them, providing them with not only technical resources and expertise, but also go-to-market support, all under the intent to help them effectively deploy and scale at an enterprise level, because we believe that startup innovation can really help our customers, our joint customers, transform and do things they never imagined. So we're excited to have Sift as part of this program, and we're excited to continue to evolve our partnership with them and make sure that our customers are able to better utilize Teams to collaborate across their organization. So earlier, Tim had spoke about some of the challenges of virtual meetings and trying to make them more fun and connected. And I know personally, as I said, I have struggled with icebreakers or trying to figure out who I'm talking to on calls. And I've always wished, gosh, if I could better, Microsoft is such a large organization, and I work with people all over the world and stakeholders that are in completely different parts of the business, but are invested in understanding how we're working with startups. And I know for me personally, if I could quickly understand, where they sit in our organization, what they care about and do, and then also just things about like what are their interests outside of work, it would help me in a lot of ways to be able to make sure I'm tailoring my conversation to them and to their team correctly, so that I'm effectively communicating what they need to know. And then also would keep me likely from talking about the weather for the first 5 minutes of the meeting, because that's usually my default. And so I think, having the profile that can help me quickly do that right in Teams is huge, and that's such a value add. So you're going to see Ryan's going to demo the features and all this stuff we're talking about, which is awesome. But beyond, like I said, beyond kind of the languages that the meeting participants speak and name pronunciation and personal bios, it's so easy to use because it's literally right within the Teams meeting. So I'm not having to quickly search through LinkedIn or other profiles that tools that my company offers. I can just join the meeting and I can click and see, okay, great, who's in here, what's their bios, helps me map out the organization. And it's so effortless to use once you're actually in the Teams meeting as well. So that's why one of the reasons we're super excited and want to make sure that we continue to partner with Sift and help them create better natural connections and collaborations for employees. So we really do believe it's an awesome tool, and we're excited, like I said, to have them in the program. And I'm happy to answer questions at the end about how we work with them and all that stuff. But Ryan, are you ready to take them on in the demo?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. So let me really quickly share my screen. All right, am I taking over? Am I good? Do you see? Yes? Okay.
Yep.
Great. So as we've sort of mentioned in the past, like one of the things that we really wanted to do with Microsoft here is to try to get a way to get into these meetings, because for those of you who don't know, Sift is a modern employee directory that has sort of expanded employee profiles. So in addition to all of the stuff that you would normally see in an employee profile, like a name and a job title and contact information, we bring just additional information such as skills, interests, work location, like what you're working on at the company, and really anything that you can think of from a custom aspect. And a large use case that we've always heard from all of our customers is when I am meeting with somebody new, I'll very often look up their Sift profile before the meeting to like learn a little bit more about who they are. So what we really wanted to do with Teams is bring that right into your meeting. So we have here on the right our integration into Teams meetings, where I can see everybody who's on this meeting from within my organization. And some of these people on this list are our marketing team. So Laura, Alyssa, and Aaron, who did a great job in putting this webinar together. All I had to do was just show up and talk about Sift, and that was the easy part. So thank you to them for doing that. So for example, if I wanted to learn a little bit more about Aaron, who's our VP of marketing, I can just go and learn a little bit more about him. So I can see how long he's worked here. I can listen to his name pronunciation. If anybody has ever mispronounced somebody's name in a meeting before, this can be very helpful, because I mean, a lot of people have names that we have difficulty pronouncing, which can definitely be awkward. His pronouns, so you know how to address him. So I can read about how he's back in Michigan after spending years in Los Angeles, and I know that Aaron also travels to Malaysia and Canada and Singapore and Australia and everywhere across the world. It's a very interesting guy. He's always the one that I asked about all of my travel plans. Seeing some of his skills and interests. So if I'm interested in how he can sort of help me, what questions he can answer for me, I can see all of that information there. And also we provide links out to the rest of our profile, so you can see all of the rest of the information about Aaron. And in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and show some examples of the rest of how Sift can help you work within Microsoft Teams. But we really wanted to showcase this feature because we feel like it's a big differentiator where we can drive impact within Teams, where we couldn't drive this outside of Teams because it's just so convenient being these meetings. And this also expands upon the profile information that you already have within the Microsoft ecosystem. So really excited about this functionality, and we're really trying to get all of our existing customers and new customers to utilize it. And I'd be happy to answer any questions at the end. So I will pass it back to Tim, and I think we have another poll question for everybody really quick.
able to see how you say Aaron's name. I would really be shocked if anybody mispronounced Aaron Smith, but who knows? He may be Ron Smythe. I mean, I might do that, but that would be me trying to get a laugh out of him. But yeah, so have you ever mispronounced someone's name during a meeting?
We got 94% saying
Wow.
yes.
It's a lot of yes.
A lot of
It's common. It happens. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many. You look at it and you're like, it's exactly how you hear it in your head. You're saying it phonetically, and it's completely the opposite. So, it definitely does happen. So, all right. So I'm gonna pass it back to Ryan for some additional demo here, if he is ready.
Yes, great. Are we good? Can you see my screen? I can't see my own screen in the meeting, so I'm not 100% sure. All right,
Yep.
So fantastic. So great. I just wanted to show a little bit more of how Sift works within Teams for those who've never seen it before. So if you've ever used our application on the web, you can kind of use it in the same way within Teams. So that's sort of just the bare minimum. So I can come here and do a search for whatever I would want. So one thing that we provide to our customers is a way to just find anybody super easily with a super modern search. So say that I wanted people who like know JavaScript who are in the Detroit office. I can just kind of, oh, there's nobody in the Denver office. I can just do that and click enter. And now I will find a big result of people who have like matched that search. And I'll say, oh, like this person's in the Denver office and they are skilled in JavaScript. And I can click on their profile to learn a little bit more about them. So this is kind of an extension on those profiles I showed within the meetings. So it might show like the systems they internally support or what people should reach out to me for, additional office location information, skills, languages they speak, everything under the sun. And you can add anything else that you would need here through this. We can also look at our very expansive org chart, which the unique thing here is it can show sort of multiple levels. So it's kind of like a maps-like experience where I can zoom in and out and expand multiple people at the same time and see just a very expansive view of my org chart. So if you're at a smaller organization, you can see your whole company from here. If you're in a larger organization, maybe I want to just look at one department. So another thing that we have is this great highlight by feature where I can color code my org chart by a certain attribute. So say that I want to look at the org chart by department. So you'll see that like the HR department is now highlighted in yellow and like the product management department is highlighted in green. Another thing I can do here is I can say start from here and just look at like the HR department's org chart, and I can expand the entire thing by clicking expand all reports. So just giving me a way to see different parts of my organizations at a wider scale. But in addition to using Sift just like you would sort of elsewhere, we've also brought in some more direct integrations into Microsoft Teams itself. So like one thing that you can do, for example, is you can search for things like right from the Teams app bar at the top of the screen. So like I don't need to come all the way here to search. So say that I want to search for Ashley Weatherburn, who is like a person that I know is in our demo instance here. So I can sort of click on her profile and then sort of get a preview of Ashley just right within the search bar. So I can see that she's a client success manager. Here's some of her featured skills. And if I wanted to like go to her profile, I could click this and it would just bring us over to her profile right within our application over here. You can also use this search functionality within chat, which is a really fun feature. So if I'm going over and I'm chatting with somebody, for example, I can send these profiles as like cards. So say that I wanted to like send over a collection of profiles for people that I'm meeting with to somebody else on my team. Or I want to like send over like a search to somebody else. So I can say, oh, like there's 59 people with a skill of Java, and I can click this view results button and it'll go over and show me all the people with Java. Also, while I'm chatting, I can go to somebody's profile right from here. So like if I'm on here, I'm chatting with somebody else on my team named Ryan Bowman, who there's not a message in this historical context, but you can sort of click like this dot 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 button and you can say find profile and it'll just go right to their Sift profile right from the chat area. So giving you sort of that more expanded profile view of that person if you want to find more information about them. And that is mostly sort of it, but really we're just existing in the same way. But the most valuable thing here is just being in the place where you're already doing all of your work. So we all know that a lot of you use Teams all day, every day, just to chat with other coworkers and things. So just bringing our experience into Teams where you can just learn more about the people that you're working with, know more about the people who aren't in your direct department, and things like that is just super, super valuable. And it just really helps like boost collaboration in a remote world where you don't know everybody. So yeah, that's my demo. And if you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask after this. And if you're not already a user of Sift, you can always sign up for a free trial. We have a free trial available on our website now, which we didn't previously have, which is very exciting. So you can use all of this right away and try it out for yourself. So I'll hand it back to Tim for Q&A and to wrap us up.
Thank you. Yeah, so thanks very much, Ryan. Appreciate that. Yeah, and like you said, if you have any questions whatsoever, you feel free to ask them now. Or if you're like me, where as soon as I hang up or stop presenting, I'm gonna go, oh man, I wish I would have asked that question. By all means, reach out to us. You can email us at support@justsift.com. And that will come to myself. And then if it's something that has to go on to Ryan, I can pass it on to him and he can follow up with you. But see, do we have any questions, moderating team?
I think Laura just posted something in the chat. So click the Q&A at the top. Oh, there's another one. There's two of them. I can read them out too if you're not seeing it.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. So the first question is there an additional charge for the Sift for Teams app if you already have a Sift subscription? And the answer to this is no, we do not charge an addition. We're always trying to have people utilize the Teams app, and we just want to offer it as an additional thing to our service. And do I have to install the Sift app for Teams on each machine individually, or can I do it in mass? So no. So Teams is very cool. They sort of allow you to provide sort of a tenant-wide sort of policy for your app. So you can like click one button and deploy this application out to all of your end users, which we certainly would recommend doing. Another great new feature that is coming out soon, which we're currently working on implementing, is also making this true for our meetings integration. So right now, sort of every time you have a meeting, you have to add the Sift app to the meeting sort of manually. But a new feature that's coming out soon that we're working with is having it so every meeting would just automatically have that side panel right away without doing anything. I think we had another one. Is there a way I can make sure everyone in my company is using the Teams app? Tim, you want to maybe take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure everyone is utilizing Sift as best as possible. We like to say make it sticky. So when you are working with myself, if you're a newer client and we're going through the configuration and the deployment process, we'll work together to come up with some documentation that you can send out along with your introductory emails, letting them know that you're rolling out this program, to let them know, hey, this has an integration with Teams. Again, as Ryan said, there is the ability to kind of push out the app in mass, so that way it's going to just automatically pop up and show on the side panel within Teams, and you can kind of give them a little quick educational tip on how to access that. And then we're always willing to do, with new clients and even existing clients, if you ever want to do like a lunch and learn where we schedule an hour of time and you'll send out an invite internally for whoever wants to join, and they'll get on and I'll go through and go over whatever topics you want. It could be how to use Sift from the front end perspective, how to use it from Teams, so on and so forth. So yeah, we'll work with you to make sure that it's out there and everyone is aware of it. So good question.
Great. We have my org already has Sift how to be integrated into Teams. So I can take this question. So Sift is just available publicly in sort of the Teams app store. So you can just search for Sift. You obviously have to log into the platform with your credentials once you have it downloaded. So either depending on your organization sort of policy, like your employees may not be able to find it because you might have some sort of custom like security setup to limit it to certain applications. But if you're an administrator on the Microsoft side, you should just be able to look it up in the store and either download it and try it for yourself or push it out to all your customers. And we'd certainly be happy to help you do that if needed as well. And we don't have anything else right now, Tim.
Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate everyone who attended today, and a special thank you to our new best friend, Samantha, who's already agreed to let us crash on her couch if we ever come to Orange County for a visit. So I'm going to take you up on that offer, Don't worry about that. So yeah, we really appreciate it. And again, as we stated at the start, we will have a recorded copy of this presentation that we will send out automatically via email, typically within about 36 hours. But our marketing team is great with, getting the final edits and things of that nature done. So it might come sooner than that, but it shouldn't take any longer than 36 hours. So by the end of the week, or start of Monday at the latest, you should have a copy to rewatch or pass along internally to anybody that may want to watch. And then we will also, I believe, be sharing this on LinkedIn and other social media platforms that we post on, so that you'll have access to it there as well. So I'll open it up one more time to any additional questions. But if we don't have any, we can give you back a little bit of time. I know we scheduled this for about an hour, but we can get you back into Teams and utilizing Sift and chatting with your coworkers. All right, so I don't hear any other questions coming up. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for your time. And if you need anything at all, again, reach out to us at support@justsift.com, and we'll go ahead and answer any questions you have. And like I said, if I can't answer the question off the top of my head for you, we can loop in Ryan. He's been here since day one. He's the godfather of Sift. So if he doesn't know it, then it probably doesn't exist. So. Again, thank you so much, and everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.